live. Now, this is going to look a bit different, but hello, welcome. We are Board Game Opinions. I'm Jonathan.
I'm Paul.
And I'm Steve.
And we're waiting for, we're waiting for Dave and for Matt, who are both late. So we're going to play what we normally play with them in a bit when they arrive. We thought while we're waiting that we'd have a go at the Black Powder expansion, which looks quite different, as you can see here. And the key difference really is that it includes a black suit. So this extra pile here is for the black cards, and the black cards are basically the same as the other suits in that there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, except you've got to play them in reverse order. So you have to play the 5 first, then the 4, then the 3, then the 2, then the 1. And the distribution is the reverse as well. So you've got 3 5s, 2 4s, 2 3s, 2 2s, and only 1 black 1. The other thing that makes it difficult is if you give a colour clue on somebody's hand, black cards never show up, no matter what colour you clue. You can't clue black. So, it's hard. It makes it harder, but it's also so good. So we are going to have a go at this and see how it goes. Maybe if I can minimise my... Not sure if I can. But it's me first, though, isn't it? So how about I just give a clue?
Yeah.
Now, the other thing is that the implementation is slightly different here. If I want to give a clue, I click on the card first.
Yeah.
I guess I... You know what? I'm actually going to do this. Then you see it pops up some options here. And then I say something. We're going to say that.
Okay.
Green.
Got some green cards.
I'm going to give Paul a clue.
If you didn't catch that because you can't see the log, that was a 0 clue on Paul's hand. So now I want to play a card, so I'm going to click on it. Oh, so that's pretty much the same as before, and I click play.
I think you can drag them as well.
Oh, so that was the green one.
I think you can drag them into the place. This is still in alpha testing.
Oh.
So if you log on to Boardgame Arena thinking I want to give this a go, you can't.
So Steve told Paul to play his 5, but it's okay because the black 5 actually does have to be played first. Right, well I'm going to carry on playing my next green card. Notice the clues on the left. Rather than just showing you how many clues you've got, the black ones are the clues you've used and the white ones are the ones you've got left. So that's a little bit different. And discards will appear in the bottom left if we ever discard anything. And I'm eating ice cream. I didn't get around to it earlier tonight. Oh, and it's oh no, it's Steve. So you can see just about, it does it slightly differently, but there's a little white 3 here to show he has discarded that one. It's back to me. So, yeah, I think I'll play that.
Jonathan, I'm going to give you a clue about how many 5s you have.
Okay. Well, I've got no 5. So I play my rightmost card. Okay.
And if you're watching for the first time, the way we've agreed to do 0 clues, because they are in the rules, you are allowed to do them. And obviously, because we're playing with conventions, we know what finesses are, and we have kind of different agreements. We've assigned an agreement where if you give someone a 0 clue, you tell them to play their rightmost card that makes sense. So usually it's the card they know nothing about furthest to their right. But also the way we give the clue is we tell them the largest number they don't have. So when I told initially Paul at the very start that he had no 4s, he knows he's got at least 1 5 in his hand.
Yeah, I don't remember signing anything, but we certainly agreed on that.
I don't know if did you join us after Zero Clues were a thing?
Yeah.
Okay. And I actually think Zero Clues work better in 4 and 3 player. Well, I think they work best in 4 player games. In 5 player games, sometimes you can get apologies. In 5 player games, you can nearly always get the card played with a color clue.
Mm-hmm.
And with 3 player games, sometimes you can't zero them.
That's right.
Sometimes, I don't know, like 2% of the time, maybe.
Yeah, I haven't seen any examples where that's come up in our games, but
I've only
certainly
seen
it's possible.
I've just given Steve a 0 clue. Told him he hasn't got any 4s.
All right. Yeah, well, I think I'm playing this 2 just based on odds. There's just so much. It's likely to be white or yellow. Yeah.
Good choice.
Well, I think if there was only 1 2 playable, you wouldn't have zeroed me. But the fact there was several means it's more likely to be a 2 than my chop. And it probably indicates I've either got another yellow card or a multicolored card that you can't clue yellow on.
Well, I had a brief moment of panic because I thought you were indicating his not the 2s, but the next most card, and I'm like, I can't possibly have a card that's going to help. And I'm like, oh wait, right.
I think that the zero clues potentially cause a lot of aggravation sometimes, don't they?
Yeah, you need to really think them through, I think, sometimes. It's not always obvious what the person's trying to mean, and you can misunderstand them, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Dave's ready, so I assume he's just going to... I'll let him know to join us, or you can watch the stream, potentially. Join us in Zoom and watch this. No, if he joins us in Zoom, he...
No, I can switch it, I think, quite easily. If he joins us in Zoom, it's fine.
Okay.
All right, hang on a second. So
I'll let him know.
Paul discarded. Steve told me I've got 3s. So that should be a save clue, I think. In which case I'm going to discard that one. It's really hard the first few times you play this, not to get mixed up with the black cards. Because you think, oh, we've played the black 4, now we just need the black 5. But no, you actually need the black 3.
When they first did tell you what, when they were doing the first alpha game I played, you still had to play the 5 first, but when it went into the pile, it was a 1. And then you had to play the 4. You're looking at a 1 and you have to play the 4 next. Oh god, I made errors there. That was one of the original alpha errors there. that blew my mind a bit. I was like, what's going on here?
Mm.
Okay, that makes sense. I'll do that.
Yeah, I'm glad there was something you could clue me.
So I think it's got to be that one. All right. I really like the way the black suit works. Like reversing, finessing it down instead of up. You've really got to be on the ball.
It's if you don't play, does Paul play? I mean, he probably has to when you don't.
If he doesn't play, then I still play, of course.
Yeah,
I
I
should
think
play
so,
the twos.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Dave. See if I can switch this to a 4-player view once he arrives.
I'm going to do that.
Well, we kind of got Dave there on the bottom. What did he do?
I clued yellow on
Paul. Okay. Oh, there we go. Dave sorted his phone out. Hi, Dave.
Hello.
You are more or less on the screen, I think.
Just trying to...
So I think.
If you can watch the stream, Dave, at least you can see Jonathan, the game from Jonathan's point of view.
Okay.
Because if you watch on Boardgame Arena, you won't be able to see any of the cards, will you?
Steve, you don't have any 4s.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to mute myself because.
Yeah, I think that's wise.
Matt's here. Now I don't know if I can make this work.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty messed up on the picture.
When you clued me on my 2,
yeah,
I thought, from various reasons, Paul played because you've made a finesse, and you've made a 0 finesse. Does it mean my 5 is on the chop is yellow, but you could have clued me yellow early to flag the 2 up? So I didn't think my 5 would be yellow on the chop.
Well,
yeah.
So on my furthest one, right?
It's all right.
Yeah. The problem, of course, is that yellow clues also tag all the other multicolored cards you have in your hand.
True, but on that particular case, if you clue a yellow 5, you should have clued yellow the second time, surely.
Yeah, I think in that one it would have made sense.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. The problem is, there's another issue as well, but we'll see.
Yeah. Right, let me just try and sort out this picture issue. Why does that one work and not that one?
Yeah. All right.
I think I need to turn it on.
Yeah, I mean, The other issue is, I'll let you do that. Well, I guess I'm just playing. Oh, hang on. I got clued 5, did I?
You did.
Wait, it must be this one.
Yeah.
And now you can clue my 2.
Maybe.
Well, it's got to be. It's got to be. Yeah. Fine, I'll let Paul do it. Yeah.
Right. We've got that. Yeah, I think I'm doing that. It doesn't half look strange, this layout, compared with the normal one.
What are we doing? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They've definitely tried to make it more akin to playing in real life.
Yeah.
All the ways you, all the methods, all the physical methods you'd use to clue and play and whatever things in real life are exemplified a lot more in this. The layout around the table, that's real life. The moving clues from the light side to the dark side. The pointing to a card and then saying all these are.
Yeah. Okay, the pitch is not amazing here, but at least you can see everyone's faces now.
I'm just going to do that.
Yeah, so that was the issue on when I clued your yellow 4, Paul. You were
Yeah.
going to bluff out that one. You would have discarded, and then Jonathan would come back and play that one.
Yeah.
Because I clued yellow. But yeah, and then Jonathan finessed me and we missed it.
We'll get there.
Yeah, I think we will. So I will tell. I guess I'm just gonna. Well, I guess I'm playing again.
So I think I'm playing that. We will
This is
sort
fun,
the pitch
isn't it?
out in a minute.
Yeah, this is fun, isn't it, Dave and Matt?
Yeah. I'm watching the stream now,
Ah, okay.
so I can see what you're doing.
It's probably a few seconds behind, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to do the.
Because Matt's the only one who hasn't seen this, I think.
I've not seen it in action.
It's really
You
nice,
show
I
me what
think.
it looked like. Yeah. Yeah.
I think I'm going to do this.
It's definitely, having seen it from the very conception to now, I've been playing for about a month now. It's definitely much better.
All
I got clued on 2-1.
right. That's
Yep.
You did.
Okay, so I guess okay, cancel. I'm going to come back to that.
Yes.
Yeah, let's just do. I think I'll just do that actually.
Yeah. Good. Okay. And then I think I want to do that.
I was going to play that one anyway, weirdly, because you could have zeroed me. Does that mean play? No, I've got to play the 1 first, surely.
What did he do? Oh, oh yeah, the stream's delayed.
Yeah.
So I think.
Yeah, I figured you'd play the right one, but
That's fine.
Anyway.
I've got to assume that they're white clues.
Yeah. It's harder to track errors, like, what do you call them? Misfires in this. But the background of the mat here goes
Yeah.
progressively redder, like left to right.
Okay.
So
really?
Yeah, that's how you track lives. So it's a third red. We've had one misfire, which was mine.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, I think you're going to lose some games without realizing it.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, Matt, you can drag the cards. So rather than clicking on a card and clicking when you put it, you can drag it to the place you want to put it, and you might not go wrong that way.
I think you could do that anyway, couldn't you?
Can you? Oh, possibly. I never tried.
I think so. No, I never did.
Can't believe we lost both black fives. Well, I guess I'm playing
Lost both what?
black fives.
Well, we've lost 2 black 5s.
There are 3, aren't there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
The black suit's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
tell
messes
you what,
with your head so much.
Yeah. The danger is if you're clued on several ones and someone tells you to stop playing, you have no idea if one of the ones you've still got left is black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got to keep all the ones in your hand until you know they're not black.
Yeah.
So why did we have this in training mode?
You can't when it's an alpha. You can't do.
Oh, you can't change it.
You can't do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, training.
That makes sense.
Okay, so you've
I'm gonna discard.
not lost any.
We've lost 1 life, and we've not lost a suit.
You're not screwed any suits. The Board Game Opinions logo is over the bottom 2.
Oh yeah. We've lost a multicolor 3 and 4, and a black 4 and 2 black 5s is what you can't see.
Cool. That work? Oh yeah, everyone's pictures all over the place.
Yeah,
Oh,
I fixed it now.
They come back. Weird. Is it because of Dave?
No, it's not Dave. It's just because I've not tried, because the view's so different on this. I can't have the normal view that we have, and I don't know how you'd see more than 3 people on this anyway.
I don't know why you discarded last time, Jonathan. Maybe I've got a dodgy one.
I think that might have been a mistake on my part.
I think so. Yeah, you're very lucky. We had 5 clues, or 4 clues, or something like. Bonkers. I'm gonna say that is red.
Okay, that's got to be that one then. And then it's got to be that one.
I think you knew that was red from quite a long time ago, actually.
It could have been red or white, but as soon
okay,
as you clued me to 2s to play the white 2, so I knew it wasn't white at that point, because you would have clued me white. So I knew it was red. Strangely, the multicolor on the cards, they're like multicolor, but when you clue them, they go purple.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a disconnect for me. Reds? Well, I guess I play them.
Makes sense. the hell?
I actually think you have quite a lot of time at the end of these games because you've got an extra 10 cards in the deck.
Oh, that's
Effectively, you've got an
Yeah.
extra 10 turns in the game. Okay, I'll discard.
Oh, hang on. It must be because of this.
It's just time now, I think. And
I keep looking at the black one, and going, "Oh, crumbs! There's loads left."
just go on 6 cards left with 7 cards left in the deck. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, I think we should be fine.
Yeah.
Right.
I think
That made sense as to why you were confused, but
you did the right thing. It makes it clear as to what I should do.
yeah, I think so.
So I think I need to do that actually.
Even though that wasn't a finesse?
I mean,
Like he
Could've
played
played
it. He played.
I
you
think,
played
I
your.
think, I think with only having lost 1 life, I think you should be playing there.
Okay. Well, I mean, it shouldn't matter
Because you know I wasn't finessing you.
Yes, that's
Right?
true. Yes, that is true.
Okay. Okay. Good.
Well, you could have
But
been.
Steve wanted me to play it. That's the thing.
Yeah, but you could be letting me bluff it
Sure.
by cluing white. I mean, I don't know whether I'm playing the multicolored 5 first anyway, but anyway, we'll see.
Oh.
I can let you do that actually, because I don't have 2 cards to play.
Oh, we had too many to play. I shouldn't have discarded there.
Well, it depends if I've got the white 5 or not. If I've got the white 5, discarding's fine.
I think we're all right.
Good.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I've got the white 5. Jonathan's,
Well,
Jonathan's not that sharp. He wouldn't have played that 4 so quick if I didn't have the 5.
It's getting more likely as the draw deck runs out. So. Oh, it's me. Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, I think I have to do this actually.
Yeah, you do.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that means at that point I need to play.
Either that's the red 5 or the one you're
Or I'm
about to draw.
it. Either way, it's fine.
Yeah.
Because if you had the red 5 somewhere else in your hand, I would have clued that instead, and then you clue Paul, and then
Yeah.
we got played.
And then we're all right.
Well, and there were enough clues that we could have just gone around the table and clued
We'll
everyone's
finish with 8.
right?
Yeah, we're gonna.
All
All
right.
right, 30. With an extra 5 cards, we still don't only score 30. It's just
Yeah, easy game.
Yeah, and that's the other weird thing. It starts on -5, the points.
-5.
That too. All right. So, shall we go back to normal Hanabi now?
Yeah, I will. Do you want me to set the table while you do the view? Oh, yeah. Okay.
No, because the view's easy to do now because we're going back to
that's
normal. It's fine. I'll set it up.
Well, the order might change, but okay.
Play. Let's invite some friends. 1, 2. Oops. Hang on. I just
Come.
I've invited someone by mistake. Let me just do this.
Ooh, I'll accept. So
Dave's not online.
There you go.
And then we switch to that one, I think. And then Matt accepts. We do this, and I think it should work now.
No, because you might have the order wrong.
Oh yeah. Right, let me switch back to that and that.
Oh dear.
And Dave's like hiding in the bottom corner of his picture.
You are very low down in your picture today, Dave.
I mean, he's normally quite like in an odd position, but now he's especially low down. Right, who's going first? It's Steve. All right, so I'm just going to sort out the picture while you can start cluing if you like. So Matt
Want me to wait? Oh,
is at the bottom. No, you can just start. It's fine.
okay.
The
Good luck,
blur,
everyone.
I think, is Dave. So we'll put that.
Oh
there.
God, this is messing me up. I'm clicking on a card to give a clue, and I can't do that.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed in the other, if you click on the multicolored cards, it doesn't immediately give you an option to clue color. I think you have to. There's like a more options. Like it only says the number.
Oh.
So I did that on yours. I was like, oh, I'm going to clue all these white. Like clicked on the multicolor 4, and then it's like, do you want to clue all these 4s? And that was the only option. I'm like, what?
We just had 4 orders, Matt.
Cool.
Yeah. I think Michael's getting people to pay for that Arkham Horror stuff online.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that matches the right people more or less with the right hands. So what happened? Steve clued 1 to Matt, and Matt played a yellow one. Oh, are we gonna do commentary?
Up to you.
Shall we give it a go, and then you guys can carry on chatting? Because we're all set up. I think this is straightforward. I mute you guys on here,
And you take your headphones out.
and I mute myself. So let's mute you guys. Oop. Mute myself on Zoom. Remove my headphones. And yes, I think that's working. So you guys at home can still hear me. So I think we're there. And hi, Steve. Let me just tell Matt. Right, hang on, guys. I've just unmuted myself for 1 second. Apparently, Matt, you're not live on Twitch. Steve Schwartz just sent me a message about that. Okay, I'm muting myself again. And then we can talk about the game. Right, so what have we got? We've got a 5 on the chop. Thanks, Steve. And got to be careful to save that unless he's got a clue he could give. I mean, I don't want to discard, but I don't want a clue. You see, Paul could play his 1. I could clue the 1, but then Dave, there's an outside chance he might discard, which would be bad. So it's better for me to save Dave's 5. There are no finesses, are there? So, and then Dave could give the clue on Paul's 1 and get the 1 played. Because when it gets back round to Matt at the bottom, he's going to be playing the green 1. Our play all system, the dynamo system, when you give a clue on the multiple cards, you just keep playing them all. There you go. So Dave has given the clue to Paul. I did not need to give that clue. And number on the chop always means save. So when I clued Dave's 5, that's not a play clue. I mean, obviously it's not a play clue. We can't play 5s at the start. There's no black suits anymore. So Paul plays his red 1. That's good. Steve, my goodness, there's just a lot of junk here. Like a lot of cards that we can't play. Oh, there's a 1 there, though. That's nice. Steve gave the clue, so I know it's not going to be a green 1. It would be crazy to tell me about a 1 that matches Matt's card, because Matt's going to play that 1. Now, I don't really want Dave to throw away the 2 here. So, as long as Dave gives a clue, it's okay. But what's Dave going to do? There's nothing. I mean, look, there's like no 2s except for the 1-2 that Dave's about to throw away. I feel like I ought to save the 2 and come back and play the 1 next time. It's not like I'm in a rush to play any 2s except the multicolour 2. Followed by the multicolour 3. We've got 2 of those. I think it's fine. I think I need to save Dave's multicolour 2. I don't think I can play. It would be too dangerous. No, Steve, we were just, for the first bit of the stream, we were trialling the new Black Powder expansion for Hanabi, which is great if you like Hanabi. It makes the game harder and introduces a black suit. So we were trying it out. It's kind of in alpha phase on Boardgame Arena. So if you're a reviewer, you can try the game if you like. But it's not available for general playing ability. But we just demoed it. So if you go back to the beginning of the stream, you can watch it and see how it works. But now we're just back to normal Hanabi. We do have the multicolour suit, obviously, which makes it a little bit tricky. And still, we haven't drawn any useful cards, so we're just discarding. And the only issues here is you just got to make sure you don't have two people discarding the same card, if you like. If someone else discards a green 4 at this point, that would be bad. I will be playing my 1 when it comes back to me, because I know it was a play clue. I just wanted to save Dave's 2. Paul's just drawn a blue 1, though. That is good. Steve, if he discards the 4 yellow, which is fine. Oh, that's interesting. So I've been clued. That is definitely a save clue. And it will mean that my rightmost 4 is the one that I would have discarded eventually. It didn't really need to be made at this point, but for whatever reason, Steve decided to save it. Can't be a finesse, no. So I reckon, because we've lost the green 4 over here, that this rightmost 4 will be the green 4. It doesn't affect what I'm going to do at the moment, because I'm just going to be playing the one in the middle anyway. The other reason Steve might have done that, actually, is that Paul is in danger of throwing away a white 4. And the problem is, like, if I throw away a 4, I don't realise it's the white 4, and then Paul throws it away, and we've lost them both in quick succession. Right, so we don't need to worry about Dave discarding the red 1, so I can just play my... Oh, it's a blue 1. Unfortunately, it matches the one Paul's got, that's why no one was cluing it. What did Matt do? Matt discarded his green 3. Yep, okay, fine. So with the black suit, Steve, it's the same distribution of cards, kind of. So normally you get 3 1s, 2 2s, 2 3s, 2 4s, and only 1 copy of every 5. The twist with the black suit is you've got to play it like back to front. You've got to play the 5 first, and then work your way down to the 1. So it's super confusing. But there are 3 5s, 2 4s, 2 3s, 2 2s, and only 1 black 1. So that's the thing that makes it a bit different. It adds a twist to it. Oh, that was interesting. What happened there? Dave discarded, and Paul tried to play the blue 1 and misfired. He thought it was a finesse for some reason. What clue caused him to think that? Don't know. We've lost a life, though. I don't think... Bye, Steve. I don't think that... You don't get commentary, though, on Matt's stream. I don't know what Paul was thinking. My clue on 2 with Dave was clearly a save clue because it was number on the chop. Steve discarded the yellow 4. I'm keeping both my 4s. Again, one of them could be the white one. I still think that one of the white's probably green, but maybe it's white. White and green, maybe. We'll see what happens. Matt can discard the red 4, that'll be fine. We are still not having much luck drawing playable cards. Oh, we do have the green 3 and green 2, which need to be played. That's now good. Oh, and Dave's actually drawn the white 1. So, in fact, suddenly there's loads of cards that need to be clued. Fortunately, because they've been discarding, we've got 7 clues here, so we're not short on clues. Okay, so he's clued green. Now, Paul will look at Steve's green 2 and go, oh, it's a finesse, yeah, because the green 2 is the next one that has to be played, so he won't try playing. He will probably discard the white 4. So I think I just clue 1 on Dave's hand, and Dave should play the white 1. There's nothing else you need to be aware of, I don't think. Yeah, you just got to be careful, because with a reverse finesse in this case, yeah, Paul is going to not play and wait for Steve to play, and then when it comes back to him, he's going to play. The danger is obviously he would, because he's not going to be playing, he's going to be discarding. So he's discarded the white 4, but that is fine. As I say, I may well have one of the other white 4. Now, Steve's drawn the white 2. That's good. We need to play that one. Paul will be playing the green 3 when it comes back to him. Dave has a safe discard in the white 1, so that's okay. Paul drew the blue 4, which is no good to us at the moment. We need to be slightly careful, because after Paul has played the green 3, he'll come back and play the multicolour 3, which we obviously don't want him to do, so we'll have to stop him before we get to that point. What we really want is for somebody to draw the multicolour 1 first, because then we can get the 1, 2, 3 multicolour played. That would be great. Right, Matt's discarded. You can't see anything to do. I don't think I can see anything to do either. Matt's got 2 5s in his hand now. That's not good. The 3 is a safe discard, though. We haven't lost the yellow 3. It doesn't matter if Steve discards the multicolour 3 because Paul's got it. We're getting quite... it's getting a bit dangerous over here. But I think I discard. I mean, we need to draw cards. Red 3, that's okay. I mean, it's not great. I have to say, this game's not going terribly well. Not because we're getting it wrong, but just because the cards are coming out in a difficult order. Dave will almost certainly clue Steve's 2 at this point, because Paul is going to play. Yeah, we did the reverse finesse to get the green 2 played from Steve's hand. So now Paul, when it gets around to his turn, will be playing the green 3. So Dave is free to do whatever he likes, really, knowing Paul is going to play. Steve's white 2 needs to be played. He's going to be looking for the finesse. So if I had just drawn the white 3, for example, he would clue my card, getting Steve to play first. But he just clued the 2, so I haven't drawn the white 3. But Paul's just drawn the yellow 2. Is the yellow 3 anywhere? Oh, that is interesting, because it's here. But if Steve plays, there's a good chance that Matt discards it. So although Steve is meant to play... No, you see, the problem from Steve's point of view is he doesn't know what colour his 2 is. It could have been the yellow 2, in which case he shouldn't have been finessing Paul's yellow 2. Matt might discard. Matt doesn't tend to. He tends to clue. Oh, he's clued me green. So that should mean... this is tricky. That could be the green 4, in which case I should probably just play it. Dave then would have to stop Paul from playing the multicolour 3. But we really want to be finessing... In fact, Dave can clue... He would have to give a 0 clue on Matt to get him to play the yellow 3, which would finesse out Paul's 2. So I think it works. So I think I just play my green 1. Sorry, not green 1. My green card. That one. And it was the green 4 as we thought. So Dave is not going to be playing anything. He knows he needs to save the multicolour 2. He needs to stop Paul, but you see, if he finesses the yellow 2, effectively that does stop Paul from playing. So that, I think, is the ideal situation. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it on the chat log, but he has clued 4 to Matt. So he's saying Matt has no 4s. And in our system, the 0 clue means you play the rightmost card, which is telling him to play the yellow 3. And Paul looks at that and goes, oh, hang on, the yellow 3 is not playable. Oh, we must have to play the yellow 2 first. It's always the most recent spot when you finesse. It's not always the most recent spot. It's usually the most recent spot, unless you know otherwise. And that stops Paul from playing the multicolour 3, which is great. So he won't come back and play that later until we clue him again on it. He will just save that now, which is perfect because Steve is possibly about to discard the multicolour 3, the other one. There he goes. So we need to watch Steve's chop because the red 5 is on there. He's just drawn the multicolour 2, though, that we need. That's good. There we go. Matt plays the yellow 3 that was finessed. And look at this. Whew, we've got the blue 2, the blue 3, the blue 4, and the blue 5. Wouldn't it be great if somehow we could get all of those played with one magical clue? I don't think it's going to happen. I think, actually, I want to clue Matt's 3 here, which will get Steve to play his 2. And then Dave would probably clue the blue card, which tells Dave to play this, but Dave will wait for these to get played first. So hopefully Dave would then discard the yellow 3, which we no longer need. So I think that works. I definitely don't want to clue colour on Matt's hand because of the multicolour one will get flagged as well. So I just clue the blue 3. That's a play clue because it's not on the chop. And everyone else looks at it and goes, but hang on, we can't play the blue 2, the blue 3. So the blue 2 has to be played first. And Steve is the only one that can't see it. We can all see it's in Steve's hand. No one else can see that. So Steve will play the blue 2 on his turn. And Dave is now looking at that and going, oh, okay, Steve plays the blue 2. Matt plays the blue 3, but we don't really want Paul to discard the blue 4 because we want to play it immediately afterwards. So Dave will probably clue the blue 4. Obviously, I don't know what I've got in my hand. I mean, I think I've got a green 4 and possibly a white 4 as well. Yeah, he's clued blue. So that is saying to Paul, play this card. But after the other blue cards have been played, he will wait because he can see the 2 has to come first, then the 3, then he comes back and plays his blue card. Even though he doesn't know the number, he still knows he should always wait. So what will Paul do? Well, if he can't see any other cards to be played, I mean, I might have a playable card, he could clue me, but otherwise he should discard the only card he doesn't know anything about. Yep, he's saving the other cards. So he will discard his yellow 3, as we say, which is fine because we've already played the yellow 3. If you have any questions, if you're watching, do ask. Very happy to explain what's going on. That's kind of the idea of the commentary. Our system, the Dynamo system, is a very, what's the word here? Aggressive might be the word. System, in that when you give a clue on multiple cards, we just keep playing them all. It's like play, 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 play. It's the opposite to conservative, whatever that would be in Hanabi terminology. Oh, that's interesting. Paul, hang on. Paul clued 5. Oh, so Steve was already going to play because it was finesse, but he's just saving that one. Steve knows that is a save clue because it's on the chop. So it comes back to me. Dave can discard without any problems. We need to be careful of Matt's 5s. We've drawn the red 2, which is great. The green 1, which is useless. So I think, like, Paul is going to play that one. Dave could do what he likes. I think, actually, I want to save Matt's 5s. And then if there's a finesse available, maybe I've got the red 3, then Dave can finesse Steve's red 2 out. So, oh, I've just noticed, though. Let's think about this a bit more. The green 5 is actually playable. Look, we got all the way up to the green 4. So I think what I do is I clue Matt to play that one because there's no way a finesse is available on that one. That is a safe clue for me to give. So I clue Matt 4. Now he doesn't have any 4, so that's a 0 clue. I'm telling him to play his rightmost card. As we say, Paul is going to be playing, so Dave doesn't need to worry about Paul. But he could clue Steve's 2. Okay, and he's clued red, so I definitely don't have the 3. We've always got to be aware there might be a finesse there. So Paul plays, Steve will play, Matt will play, and then it's back to me. So I just need to watch what they're drawing, really. We really want a multicolour 1. So that's nice. We do need to watch Matt's discard there. We've run out of cards to play at this point. Can't see. Oh, hang on. Look, there's a blue 5 there. So I guess I clue blue on Dave, and then he plays that. He definitely won't play that one. The problem is that he might think it's... Other people might think it's a finesse. I've got to be very careful here. If I clue blue here, someone else might think they've drawn the multicolour 1. Then Dave would discard, and someone would try and play a card that isn't meant to be played. That would be bad. So I want Dave to play just the multicolour 5. I just want to tell him, play the 5. So in fact, what I'm going to do is clue 5. Now, this is a bit odd because it's number on the chop, but he already knows he needs to save it. So if I clue it again, really, I'm telling him to play it. I think that should work fine. Paul then will save Matt's 5 down here. And I think it all works. So I've clued 5. Let's see if Dave interprets this correctly. Can't really see Dave very clearly here. Dave's sort of snuck down into the corner of his picture like this. I could try and alter his picture to get him more in the middle of the shot, but he's just he's not very in the middle of his camera is the issue. Let's see what happens. What is Dave going to do while I faff with the picture? He has played the 5. Hallelujah. Oh, and then... Whoa, what happened there? Paul played the multicolour one and misfired. That's really bad. How did we know that he shouldn't? Yeah, I don't think he should have played. I think he should have known not to play it because it had been sat in his hand for ages. We would have clued it earlier if we wanted him to play it. That is unfortunate because it would have worked really well other than that. In fact, we've got a pretty amazing clue here. Matt's going to give it. So we want to get one of these multicolour 1s played, then the multicolour 2, then... Oh no, we've lost the 3, the multicolour 3. It would have been amazing if Paul had only not discarded the multicolour 3. Because you could give a clue of 4 on Steve and everyone else would just sort of play the cards. It would magically work out. Now, I was wondering about having a green 4 here. I clearly don't have the green 4 now because both the green 4s are out already. It's all going wrong. Right, I've got no clues, I think. And yeah, it's just been clued on Dave. So I want to discard, I think, at this point. I can't do anything else. I definitely don't want to be playing. I think I've got a white 4, you see. That's okay, because Dave's got both of them. Paul would discard the yellow 3, which is fine. I think they're probably all discussing. Right, there you go. There's a slightly better picture of Dave. It's still a terrible picture of Dave. Dave just uses his phone as the camera. I think that is the issue. And he's got that stark single bulb light in the background that just makes him look like he's in silhouette. And he's like leaning back now, so I should stop obsessing about Dave. Right, that's as good a picture as you're going to get of Dave. And Paul, I think, will discard. This is now rubbish. The multicolour 4, we've thrown it away effectively because we've lost both the multicolour 3s, which means this multicolour 5 that was saved, I think Steve may have saved it, is also useless now. I think Paul's super nervous about discarding. We'll see what other people think when we chat about it at the end. So what we're going to do is, after we've played the match, this is what we normally do. Well, I'll bring them all back so you can hear them, and we'll discuss what happened there and why did you do that and you missed this. Right, I want you to pay attention now. Okay, that was a white clue on Paul's hand. Clearly the white one is not playable. That means it's a finesse. So Dave has a 3, so that means I don't have the 3. No one else has got the 4, which means I've got the 4, so it should be my middle card. You always play left to right. So I should be playing my middle 4 after Dave's played his 3. Matt's got nothing helpful, so he'll probably discard. Can't see anything else we need to play at this point. Now, although you might wonder what Dave does on his turn, because he knows from Paul's clue that he should be playing this multicolour, the white 3. Yep, that's a finesse. But the multicolour 2, he also can play. Well, which is the priority? Generally, you should play the lowest card first. So he should play the 2 before the 3. However, because we've recklessly thrown away both of the multicolour 3s, actually, the multicolour 2 is the last multicolour card to be played. So there's no rush to play that one at all. So he should play the white 3 first. Okay, Matt just drew a useless yellow 2. There's nothing else for me to do, so I'm going to discard. Dave should play the white 3 first. And then I will come back and play my middle 4. Now, if they don't want me to play the middle one, maybe the one on the end is the important one. I actually think the one on the end is the white 4. But if you finesse like that, we always play the one on the left. So someone, we've got plenty of clues, someone should clue me. Now, Paul definitely won't play. You might wonder, how does he know it's a 5? We've lost one white 4 at the bottom there. And I must have the other white 4 in my hand, so Paul knows he's not got the white 4. But nevertheless, it's a play clue, so he waits for me to play my white 4, and then he plays the white 5. I just can't understand what this save clue was on my 4s, because it wasn't the green 4, which is the only 4 we'd lost at the time, which makes me think it must have been the white 4. You see, that 4... I don't think it would have mattered if we'd lost that 4. What 4 would it be? I kind of want to play the 4 on my chop, because that's the one that was saved. And we remember we would Paul discarded that other white 4 quite early on. Oh, the red 3's popped up. Somebody can do something with that. What do I play? Normally it's the middle one. Ah, there we go. Somebody saved me, because I really wasn't sure. That's actually quite helpful, because not only does that finesse... So they saved the red 4. I don't know why they were saved the red 4 earlier. We'll analyse that at the end of the game. Anyway, I don't really need to think about this now, because definitely this is the one I should be playing. Then Dave will play his multicolour 2. And because I've been clued, that's a play clue, the red clue, that means we need the red 3 to be played first. Steve's the only one that can't see it, so he knows he must have it, and it must be in his most recent spot. You can see there Paul's just played the white 5. That's great, we get a clue back for that. Steve should be playing his most recent card because of the finesse on my card, the red 4. Good job I didn't play the one on the end. When in doubt, stick to the conventions, I think is. But I don't know why they saved that early on. It was just a weird clue. Matt's been clued yellow. Now, the only yellow card we need to play are the 4 and the 5. Matt can see the 4 is here. So he knows the only one we really care about is the 5. So he knows these other yellow cards are useless. So he will discard, unless there's a clue he can give. I don't think there is. So he will discard this, the left-hand yellow card, because he doesn't know necessarily which of these two ones is the yellow one. Yeah, they've both been flagged up as 5 yellow because one of them's multicolour. The convention is we'll play the one on the left. So if we don't tell him anything else, he'll play the one on the left, which is fine. But we might need to come back and clue him again if they were the wrong way around. So the safest one to discard is the yellow 2, because we definitely don't need any more yellow cards. It's a finesse though, because like Dave will look at it and go, oh, he clearly wants to get the yellow 5 played. I must have the yellow 4 because he can't see it anywhere else. It's quite difficult when you first play with finesses to get into that habit. That's very much what you need to think about, is when someone's given a clue, it's like, what can't I see? It's like, what's missing from this puzzle? Oh, the piece that's missing is the yellow 4. I must have it. Yeah, whenever a clue like that is given, a play clue, whatever the missing piece of the puzzle is in general, you've got it, and it's always in your most recent spot. Oh, I just noticed Scott Clow is watching. I think that must be a friend of Steve's. Right, what happened? Matt did in the end discard the yellow 2, so we've had the red. Oh no, the red 3 hasn't been played. Hang on a second. It's because Matt. It's because Steve clued yellow to finesse the 4. I don't know why he did that. The multicolour cards are useless now because we've lost the multicolour suit. The only things we need are the 4 and the 5, and then the red cards. I could discard. I think I just want to make it very clear that Steve has got the red 3. So I think I'm just going to clue 3 on Steve's hand. I don't think he needs the clue. I think he already knows it's a 3. But I'd rather not discard because we're quite low on cards. If you give a clue, you see, you don't draw a card. So you're not burning through the deck. But if you discard, you are drawing one. Yeah, and so you see Paul just cleared up Matt's hand with a clue to make it clear this is the yellow one. So Steve plays a 3. It was kind of unnecessary clue, but as I say, we're just buying time to make us get all the cards played. So Matt can now play his 5. Yeah, Dave played his yellow 4 when it came around to his turn. So as soon as Matt's finished figuring out, there we go. Now I can play my 4. Dave's got nothing to do. The only card we've got left to play is the red 5. Steve's got it in his hand, so that's it. We're done. So I'm going to put my my headphones back in so I can hear them. And we'll unmute them and see what they've got to say about this sorry mess. Oh,
welcome back, Jonathan.
There we go.
Can we have a quick replay? Because if I think we, apart from maybe one point, we did quite well on that, not talking.
Oh, okay, all right.
About the hand as we were playing.
Yeah, mostly we did. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I launched into
a diatribe.
Well, it was Paul and I were chatting about it.
Okay.
So I think there were 2 mistakes.
Yes, there were. That's what I thought. So how do I do this again?
If you click on your face,
top right, is it?
Yeah, and click on your name. Go down.
Hang on, my name.
Well, click on your face, and then you click on the big face again, or your name within the face.
Click on your face.
Do I not need to replay the game? Don't I play that?
Okay, you can just do that then. Yeah.
I'm going to click replay the game from my point of view. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Now, if you're watching, we're not going to spend too long on this, but we're just going to get to the critical points, I think, where we made the mistakes and try and figure out why we made the mistakes. We're going to learn, hopefully, from what went wrong. It's very hard to see sometimes. So
the first one stems from the clue of 4 I gave you when you had a 1 in your hand, I think.
Yeah, because I assumed it was the green 4, but then it turned out not to be the green 4, and I thought maybe it's the white 4, but then the one that was on the chop wasn't the white 4, and I got very confused with that.
So did we all.
So,
I was the only one who was following slightly, and I was like, I'm not sure.
Well, that's because you can see everything.
yeah.
So where are we going to fast forward to a certain point?
Yeah, so basically it's to the point where you've got a 1 in your hand in the middle, and instead of playing it, you include Dave's multicolored 2, which is fine.
To save it, yeah.
Yeah, so when it's coming back to you, I know you're going to play the 1.
Yes.
And I'm looking in Matt's hand, the red 4 is 2 turns from being thrown away, and the white 4 is on the chop, and you have both of them. And if someone else decides to see that you and Matt have both got the red 4, for example, Paul might see you both got the red 4, but he might choose to save Matt's, and then someone then needs to save Paul's. So I can save them both with 1 clue, knowing, because bear in mind, this can't be a finesse because they're all mono-coloured. There's no multicolored cards there. And if I just want to like deep finesse one of the 4s, I give colour.
Yeah, so I'm at the point now. So you can see Steve's glued my 2 4s because one of them was the red 4 that Matt was going to throw away in a couple of turns, and one of them was the white 4 that Paul was about to throw away.
Yeah, so if Matt throws the green 3 away, and then you've both got the red 4 on the chop, Paul or someone, Dave knows which one to save. Dave would save yours because Dave can see the same thing I can see.
Yeah, okay. I don't think that was terrible because we did need to save them.
I was thinking at the time, is that just going to confuse Paul and Matt?
Well, because I can just give colour though. If I'm wanting to do what Paul thinks I'm wanting to do, I can just give colour. I don't need to flag both 4s up. I just give white or red.
Sure.
Because the 1 is a blue 1, so I know there's no multicolour cards, so I can just give colour if I want to do that. So it can't be a finesse.
And then Paul tries to play the blue 1, thinking it's a finesse.
Yeah,
it must have been a pretty deep.
Well, there was
finesse.
only the 2 cards missing, so it didn't seem that deep.
Yeah, but like I said, I would have just done colour.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because you thought you had the the
sure,
red 2
but
and 3, for example.
Yeah, but that's the 4s.
I'll just reiterate that all the reasons you just gave are the exact same reasons I gave last week when I gave the same 4.
Okay.
The only difference is that the 2 4s are adjacent.
Yes.
Right. In this case, right?
Okay.
But neither of those were actually in danger of being discarded in that round.
No.
So I think that was actually fine. I mean, we lost a 1, but it didn't really matter. So that we could have recovered quite happily from that.
Yeah,
I think.
and then the next mistake's quite a long one in the making because basically Paul misfires on the 1 and draws the green 3, I think.
Yeah, so that gets clued as a finesse.
And then I draw the green 2, and so someone clues green.
Yeah.
And then someone clues Dave's 1, and then Paul discards and lets me play.
Yeah.
And then I play it. And then he's going to play the green 3. And then someone clues the green 4 in Jonathan's hand at some point. I think Dave does it.
So the 2 gets clued in your hand first because Paul can play his green 3. That's fine. There's no issue at the moment. But then Paul draws the yellow 2. So at that point, we want to finesse the yellow 3 in Matt's hand with the yellow 2 in Paul's.
Yeah. But before that happens, someone clues green on your hand.
Let's see that happening.
Yes,
that was.
They clued the 4, and then you.
So now, from Paul's point of view, he knows his green card is not a 4.
That is true.
Or a 5, because he can see the green 5. So he knows his green card is not a 4 or a 5.
Yeah.
In green.
Even from the outset, my mind immediately went to it must be the multicolor 1.
Yeah.
Because we're waiting on it, and we haven't seen any of them yet in the deck.
Yeah.
I was thinking.
Yeah, Karen?
Yeah, like it was the multicolor 1, wouldn't we have clued it earlier?
Well, you clued it with 2 cards in my hand. That's
true, actually. Yeah, so you play one, play the second.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, I didn't know what order they were going to be, and I thought even when I played the first green card, it could have been the multicolor.
Maybe a clue of 3 instead of green was better.
So at the point that I'm looking at anyway.
That actually makes more sense if you'd have clued 3 instead of green initially.
Yes, that would have. I
This
think
is this
cleared
is
it
a
up.
mistake long in the making, and then
Was it my clue that confused things? Or
no,
was
I
it-
think so. You zeroed Matt, which tells Paul to stop and play his yellow 2.
Well, and we're not even at the mistake yet
No, we're
necessarily,
not.
because remember, I'm still thinking in my head that might be the multicolor
Yeah.
one. But then once I get finessed in yellow,
Yep.
I think, okay, I'm going to stop playing. Maybe it's the multicolor 3. And I was thinking that in my head. Yeah, this is probably the multicolor 3, which is why they didn't let me continue playing.
Yeah, and
And
then
then I get clued blue, which tags both cards.
Well, I finessed the blue 2 in Steve's hand, so Matt will then play the blue 3, and I can see Dave's looking at Paul's hand. Is like he wants Dave wants Paul to save the blue 4 and play it afterwards.
Yeah,
and I think that
I
blue.
didn't know
So
why
what
you
we
didn't-
do?
I don't know why you didn't give that blue clue
yourself.
initially to finesse the other cards.
Oh, I could have done that, couldn't I?
Yeah, I think it
That
stems
would be
back to the fact. The fact is, once you clue green, the only options are it's the multicolored 1 or the green 3, the multicolored 3.
Yep.
Because if it was any other multicolored card, you would not have clued green.
I don't think there was any rush to play it. I think I would have waited. But like I think, like given, I don't know, you had another 1 in your hand at the time, I think, or I can't remember how it quite worked out. But I think
and then he
there
plays
was
the
a 1
4, and then he
in
comes back
someone's
round.
hand when you played it. So I think you wait around for someone to explicitly clue it.
Yeah,
or-
and I actually think the mistake if you go a bit further when Dave plays his blue 5.
Yep.
If you get to that point where Dave gets clued on his 5 again, he knows he's got a 5.
Yeah.
He gets told it's still a 5. If you wanted Paul to play the multicolour card, you'd have clued Dave blue there.
Yes. In fact, when I was commentating, I was saying, right, I want Dave to play his 5, and if I clue blue, he'll play the 5 because the blue 5's playable. And I was like, oh, hang on, no. Because if I clue blue, I'm flagging up the multicolour 2.
Yeah.
And that will be interpreted as a finesse. So I intentionally chose not to clue colour and clue number. So to make it clear,
But
this
after
is not a
that
finesse.
5 gets played, like the blue clue tagged both my cards, and I'm thinking in my head it's either the 1 or the 3, and no one told me to stop playing. So
No
I
one
played
did.
it.
Yeah, no one told him to stop. However, yeah, maybe. I think a clue of 3 initially would have actually been better.
Yeah, I mean, Dave did. I mean, just draw the multicolour 1 before Paul played the multicolour 3.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah, sure, one of them, but like we only have 18 cards left.
Jonathan has the other one. Jonathan also has a multicolored one.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, so Jonathan.
I think I would have stalled Paul just because I don't know. Like I understand why you play, but I think I would have stalled. But it's a tricky spot.
Well,
The
in my mind, I felt like I've been
definitely to
stalling for multiple rounds.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. That's really tough. All right. Well, now we understand what happened. Let's have another go. How do I get out of this? Let's go to the end. Go to the end. Oh no, it's gonna.
Just go back to the main
It's gonna
site.
play them all. Let's get rid of that. I can't escape.
I can propose a rematch. I'll propose a rematch.
That's all right. I'm expected at table. There we go. Here we are.
Matt.
Matt.
I think Matt is doing something else for a minute.
Yeah.
I'll go to his stream and tell him to.
No, he's here. He's here. It's all right.
He's back. Yeah, he's back. Oh no, I'll give him a watch. But
I've got a notification.
Oh, I'd muted myself on.
You had.
You had, yeah.
On Zoom. That's why you couldn't hear me jibber jabbering.
All right, we're back. So they are all in the correct order again, which is good. So I'm going to mute you guys on here, mute myself on Zoom, remove my headphones, and off we go. So, oh my goodness, so straight in there. Yeah, 5s on the top. That's always dangerous. We're saving those. Looking around at ones that could be played, we've got a red one here, green one, couple of white ones, so it doesn't matter if Matt discards that. Oh, but look, Matt's got the blue one. So the best clue here is probably the 2 ones here, because you'll get the blue and the white one played. Just notice we play ones right to left, so the white one will get played before the blue one. Matt should be playing the white one here. On my turn, I can clue the red one. So I'm just checking other things. There's a red 2 here which will want to be played after that. Unfortunately, these are the wrong way around. There's no way to get them to play those the wrong way around, if that makes sense. And I think because the red 2 can be played immediately after the red 1, it's more important for me to clue the red 1. If Paul did discard, he discards the white 3, which is okay. If Steve discards, he discards the white 1, which is okay. And Matt's going to play. So I'm going to clue Dave's red 1. And in theory, Dave should just play. There we go. Paul now has nothing to do. He could clue the red 2 in Dave's hand. It's ideally, you don't want to be discarding on your first turn. So actually Paul's first turn was to save the 5s, but he might still be a little bit suspicious about his chop card and might feel like he doesn't want to discard immediately. Not necessarily, because we have had a chance to warn him. Yeah, okay, fine. So he just discards. And look, he's drawn the green 2, so they're in the wrong order. That is a pain. We can probably fix it. In fact, the priority here is going to be to get these played, because we want to finesse the green 2. So if we clue 1... so Steve's clued 2 to tell Dave to play that. If I clue 1 on this, Dave might choose to finesse by... Oh no, but look at the mess of multicolour cards here. That's awful. And this just becomes so inefficient because we're cluing 1 card at a time to get it played. I don't think there's any way around this. We need to get that green 1 played first. I'm concerned about losing the multicoloured 2, but Steve can always save it. We've got enough clues. So I think I just do that. Not ideal, but not the end of the world. So in theory, Dave plays, Paul plays, Steve then... What does he do? It's really difficult at this point. You'll see why when he gets around to his hand. Oh, Dave's drawn the red 3. That's good. Like, we don't want to lose the multicolour 2. In general, losing 3s is okay. 4s is fine, because they get played so late. But 2s, if you lose one and the other one's low down in the deck, it becomes really, really difficult. We've drawn the blue 2 as well. There's lots of playable cards here. Steve just discarded. He didn't opt to save it. That must be because he knew Matt would have a clue. I mean, he can always clue the green 2. But notice that I've been clued red. Now, looking around, the next red card that needs to be played is actually the red 3, which is in Dave's hand. So that's a finesse, which is telling me not to play, but to wait for Dave to play this one, and then I can play, this will be the red 4, probably. So I really want to get some of these other cards played. We've got... Oh, this is really difficult. Matt's hand is just so hard to deal with. I think what I want to do is clue... I'll tell you what I'm thinking. If I clue the 2, Paul plays it. Right? Dave plays, Paul plays, and then what does Steve do? Well, how do you clue Matt? That is the problem. Like, we want to save that, then get that played. But it's really hard to clue this, because if you clue green, it flags up both. If you clue 3, it flags up both. It's a nightmare. A nightmare. Wow. I mean, Steve has the blue 2 to play as well. If I clue them to play these 2s... they won't save it because it might be a duplicate 2. They don't know that. I actually think the best option for me is to save the multicolour 2. Dave plays... Paul will clue Steve's blue 2. Matt then, I think, should clue Paul's green 2, so he won't discard, and then we can clue the green 3 and it all works. So I'm going to do that, all right? Number on the chop means save. I'm going to save, after all of this, the multicolour 2. That was really tough. Very easy to make a mistake there. It could have all gone horribly wrong. It may still go horribly wrong. We will see. Dave, in theory, should play, because I didn't, and I should have. You know, according to the convention, clue means play. So he knows he's got the red 3. Because it was a finesse. He doesn't have to, though. We've got 3 clues left. You need to keep an eye on the number of clues. He's also probably thinking about all the things I've been thinking about. Now, he's just drawn the white 2. That's good. So this is where Paul... He doesn't know he's got the green 2, you see, in Paul's hand. But Steve... We don't want Steve to discard that blue 2. So he's almost certainly going to clue blue, I think, on Steve's hand to get him to play that. And then Matt has got clues. He can clue Dave on his white 2 or Paul on his green 2. Depending what he does will affect what everyone else does, obviously, afterwards. Because we really want Matt to play that green 3. But how do we get him to play it? It's really tough. This is the situation where you'd often use a 0 clue, but it's hard because he's saving the multicolour 2. Oh my goodness, what was that? So I've included yellow. But then we're going to lose the blue 2. Now, the only reason... Oh, hang on. Oh my goodness, what was that? Steve played the blue... The blue... played the blue 2 off the back of the yellow clue. Now, the only way that makes any sense, I think, it was Paul who gave that clue. I think he bluffed it, which is a stroke of genius. So I think what's happened is that yellow one, I think, is the multicolour 2. Because it made Steve play the blue 2. There's no way Steve should have played off a yellow clue unless it's a multicolour card. That would just be insane. Now, Matt's looking at this. You can see him pondering. He's got his head on his side. He's like, what in the world? So I know I'm not going to be playing that yellow card because I think, you know what, the only thing that makes sense to me is for Steve to play the blue card, because he knew nothing about that card, is if that was the multicolour 2 that's being clued. So I'm not going to play it. I'm just going to hang on to it. I know now it's a multicolour 2. That's handy. I'm obviously going to be playing my red 4. The red card, remember, finessed Dave's red 3. So I think that's the red 4. I will be playing that one next. I know it's not multicolour because the yellow clue on my hand would have flagged it up as multicolour if it was actually. So might be confused about what I'm thinking. That's probably the issue here. But he should hopefully trust that I figured it out and clue either Paul or Dave. Dave on their 2s. Yeah, Dave's got the white 2. Paul's got the green 2. Oh my goodness, it's an exciting game already. I probably get a bit more into it than most. But this is the kind of stuff I really enjoy. Right, he's clued 1. Okay. I mean, that needs to be played. I am not going to be playing my card. I say I think it's the multicolour 2. So I just play this one. Or do I? We've only got 1 clue left as well, is the problem. There's no immediate rush to play that. Dave would discard the yellow 4, which is okay. Paul discards the multicolour 4. That's also okay. Steve plays, but how do we get Matt? I don't know that we can, you know. We might just have to... Losing the green 3 is not the end of the world. I'm going to trust that they know what they're doing, and I'm going to play the red 4. There. Now, Dave probably clues Paul's green 2. Which would force Matt to discard. But that's not the end of the world. It's a 3, you see. Losing a 2 is quite bad. Losing a 3 is okay. It's not great. Right, he's discarded. That's interesting. He obviously wants to make sure clues are available. But I don't know what Paul's going to do. He's going to clue Dave's 2, maybe? Because he can't see his own green 2. That's the one we really want to get played. Yeah, he's just discarded. I don't know why they're all discarding. So that's the yellow one. Oh, the multicolour one has just appeared. Now, Matt surely will clue that rather than discarding. And this suddenly makes everything okay. And it's a good job those other guys discarded because now we've got plenty of clues. What we want to do is clue Steve's 1 before Matt discards. So we really want... There's tons of cards to be played here. So Matt surely has got to give a clue. We will get Steve's one played, then we just clue green on Matt's hand, and it will all magically work. Because you should play the 2 first, then you'll go back and play the first card, which will be the multicolour 3 after the 2, and then you'll come back and play the green card. And someone else then has to clue... Hang on a second, I've just noticed it doesn't make sense for the yellow card to be... Oh no, I've made a mistake here. Well, I haven't made a mistake, but... It could be yellow, you know. My card could have been the yellow 2. That would still have got Steve to play his card. Right, sorry about this. I think I need to explain this. Steve didn't know anything about the card. I was clued yellow and Steve played. So there must be a gap. It must have been a finesse. Now, I was thinking it must have been the multicolour one because blue and yellow, they don't match. But actually, Steve doesn't know that his card is blue. He's just playing, as far as he's concerned, an unknown card. So if I had the yellow 2 at the time, that would have made him play. But now the yellow 1's been played, I know I can play my yellow 2. There's no way they would have clued my card, the yellow card, if it was a multicolour 2. I had forgotten that Matt has it in his hand. So, what happened? Steve played the 1. Matt clued green on Paul to get that played, which is great. We've got 2 clues left. So I think I play the yellow 2. Dave then will clue green on Matt's hand, which will finesse the 1. And it should all work. This should be the yellow 2. Come on, yellow 2. Yes, it's the yellow 2. All right. Got it wrong to start with, but figured it out, fortunately, before we made a mistake. Oh, my goodness. What a game. All right, so Dave, I think the perfect clue here is to clue green on Matt's hand at the bottom. Because then Paul plays... Oh, he's clued yellow. Interesting. It's not terrible. I mean, it's fine. It gets the multicolour 2 and the multicolour 3 played and the multicolour 1 played. But I don't know why I didn't clue green, because that would have also got the green 3 played. But it's fine. We can come back and clue it later. It's just not quite as efficient on clues. So Paul should just play. Then Steve plays. Then Matt, you might wonder which card does he play. He should play the 2 first. He knows it's going to be a multicolour 2. It'd be crazy to clue it if it was the yellow 2, because the yellow 2 was already in my hand. Steve should play thinking it's a finesse. I probably clue Dave's white 2 next. Yeah, there's the finesse. There it goes. He's drawn the 2, the red 2, which is a safe discard, which is good. So Matt should play the 2 first. Excellent. Then I think Paul has got a safe discard. So we need to get this white 2 played, I think, before anything else. You don't want to mess with Matt's hand until after he's played that one. So I just clue 2. Dave should play the white 2. Then Paul discards because he won't have any clues. Steve will probably discard as well, which is also fine. Matt definitely is playing. So it'll come back to me and we'll have 1 or 2 clues, probably. Paul doesn't have an option here, so this is nice and straightforward. He just discards. Whew. What a game, my goodness. You see, from certain people's point of view, like from Paul's point of view, it looks straightforward. But when you can't see the cards, trying to deduce what is Steve going to think and why is he playing that card? It's tough. It's tough. Right, Paul, I'm not sure why Paul's thinking. I mean, theoretically, he can underchop, but there's no reason why he would want to underchop because, there we go, he's just discarded. That's what he should do. So Steve could give a clue. Yep, he could clue like the 3 that Dave's just drawn in Dave's hand, or he could clue... Actually, that's it. That's all that he would potentially clue. Unless I've got something. Oh, here we go. That's weird. That's really weird because I think that's a finesse, all right? Because the next card, the blue card that needs to be played, is the blue 3. So I should wait. I should discard. But then why not clue Paul's blue 5? It could be multicolour, you see. This would be quite clever if it is. Because I think it must be a finesse, even though it might be a multicolour card, I have to discard here. I can't play, because probably it's the multicolour 4. And then that kind of forces Dave to play. Dave realises I think it's a finesse, because I'm not playing, so he should play, because there's no other card that's going to match. And I might actually have the multicolour 4. You see, because he should include the blue 5, really. That would have got all 3 of them played. If mine really is the blue 4. We'll see. But we need to make sure Matt plays his green 3. We've managed to hang on to it for all this time. We need to make sure this green 3 gets played. So Paul, knowing Steve has a save discard, probably, yeah, he's just zeroed. I don't know if you saw it, but he gave a clue of 4 to Matt, which tells him, because he hasn't got any 4s, that's a 0 clue to play his rightmost card, so that will get him to play green 3. Steve discarded and drew a useless card. So Matt should play his green 3. It comes back to me. I just play my blue 1. I don't need to think about that. It doesn't matter if Dave discards, but if it's the blue 4 after all, then Dave might clue the blue 5. Let's just get that played. If it's not, no, it was the blue 4. I don't know why Steve didn't clue blue on Paul's hand. Oh, it may have been because actually Paul's got the blue 3. That could have been quite confusing actually if he'd clued blue, because Dave would look at it and go, well, I haven't got the blue 3 because Paul's got it. So I think that's why Steve did it. I think he was just playing it safe, which is a good idea. Matt's got a safe discard, and then 2 5s have popped up. Fortunately, the red 5 is actually playable. Look, we've got up to the red 4, so he can play that red 5. That's a play clue because it's not on the chop, so that is a definite play your card. He can see Matt's red 1, so he knows it must be the blue 1. That's the only other playable 5. Steve also now is looking at these 5s and trying to work out what colours he's got. He knows he doesn't have the blue 5 or the red 5 or the multicolour 5, so his 5s are either yellow, green, or white, so he's narrowing down his options. But unless there's a clue he can give, there's not much to do. Obviously, he can clue Matt. In fact, he probably will do. But what clue does he give? I think he clues 5 because there's only one 5 that's playable. Matt will play the most recent one and then just save the other one because there's no other 5s playable. If he clued red, oh, hang on, he's given a clue of 5 to me. So that's a 0 clue telling me to play my end card. Obviously, we don't need to get the red 5, Matt's red 5 played anytime soon. If it's the last card played in the game, that's fine. Nothing follows it. So he's probably clued the card that's kind of more important. That forces Matt to discard. So he should discard the blue too, which is fine. I'm just checking all the cards here. Yeah, he's discarded. That's good. So I don't need to worry. I just play my end card. If Dave discards the white 4, that's okay. Doesn't really matter. So I play the one on the end. It's the yellow 3. Okay. Now what does Dave do? He probably discards, which is slightly frustrating because out of all the cards here, most of this lot is junk. But we do need the white 4. Oh, he's just given a clue to a 5 to Steve. That's interesting. All right. So he's clued Steve's 5s. Now, Steve was already saving these 5s, so that is telling Steve to play. But hang on. The green 5 can't be played. You always play left to right. He's going to try and play the green 5, except that because it can't be played, that means somebody will have the green 4 on their most recent slot, and I can't see it anyway, so this is what I was talking about earlier. If you can't see the missing piece of the puzzle, the missing card, it means you've got it. So I must have the green 4, and it must be in my most recent spot. So that was what Dave's clue was. So Steve will just discard. He's not going to try and play this. He will wait for me to play the green 4, and then he will play the green 5. So what's Paul thinking about? He's thinking probably, how can we get Matt to play? The problem with cluing 5 on Matt's hand is that 5 is number on the chop. This will get flagged up. It's on the chop. That means save. He's just discarded. Yeah, he wasn't sure what else to do. Oh, but hang on. We need to save those. Oh, that's fine because Steve has nothing to do anyway. So yeah, I think we just have to save those first. Then Matt discards. He shouldn't take it as a play clue. And then we'll come back and clue him to play later. We've run out of clues, so we've been a little bit tight on clues over the past few turns, which has made it trickier than it would be otherwise. But it's fine. In fact, on the whole, I think the game's going quite well. It'd be nice to save Dave's white 4, but there's not really an easy way of doing it. You don't want to clue 4, which would save it, because he'll think, oh, it must be the... what would you think it is? He might take it as a play clue, actually, because the problem is we haven't lost the white 4. He won't take it as a play clue, as a save clue, rather, because we don't really need to save the white 4. There's another one there. And you'd also end up saving the red 4, which you don't need. So I think we just have to let that one go. There's no easy way to save it. Ideally, you would leave Dave with clues and give him something to do. Because if he's giving a clue, he's not discarding. But there's not much that can be clued at the moment. Matt, I don't know what Matt's doing. Matt should be discarding. He just can't bring himself to discard, though. There it goes. Right, he's drawn the multicolour 4. That is great, but not for me because remember, when Steve was clue 5, it's telling me I've got a green 4. So I played the leftmost card, and oh, it's not. Well, that was a mistake. They're all laughing at me now, but the clue was given on 5. Steve already knew about his 5s, didn't he? I thought he did. And why was he clued 5? What was that about? We will ask them at the end what that clue of 5 was on his hand. Surely it should have been a play clue. Oh well. Who knows what that was? It doesn't really matter. We haven't lost anything. I mean, slightly annoying. We lost a life, but it doesn't really matter. There we go. So we've got a red clue you can see on Matt's hand, which is lovely because Matt will play the multicolour 4, which needs to be played. Then he'll play the red 5, because that's the next one, which needs to be played. And then he'll play the multicolour 5 after that. So he just can play all of his cards in a row, which is great. They were all baffled. So obviously they understood. Who was it who gave that clue? Yeah, Dave gave a clue of 5 to Stevie Weevy Woo. They're all thinking, well, we clearly know what that means. I do not. Right, it's not a finesse. It's a yellow card. It must be a yellow 4. Let's just play that. That's fine. Dave can discard. Now, he has actually, if you notice, discarded the white 4, but that's all right. Even if the white 4 was the last card drawn, we still ought to be able to get it out. It's possible we might not, but at this point we kind of need clues actually, so we want to get a good bit of discarding done to build up our clue bank again. So Steve should just discard because Matt is going to be doing lots of playing for a while. We want to keep discarding until we can draw the white 3. Now we've already lost one of them. We need the white 3 and the white 4. Those are the critical ones. Not sure what Steve's thinking. He's using clues to tell me about ones. Why in the world would he do that? We need to build up clues, don't we? That doesn't make any sense. I mean, I was going to discard anyway. Dave's got rubbish. Paul's got rubbish. Steve knows about his 5s. He's hanging on to them. We're waiting for Matt to play. Matt's got rubbish. I'm just discarding. I don't know why he gave that clue. That clue doesn't make any sense at all. Maybe he was concerned that my previous play was... was because I misunderstood something and he wanted to make it clear that my hand was full of junk and not to play any more cards. That's probably what he was thinking. You can see we're all discarding and building up the clues there, but we're not drawing the cards we need. We need the white 3 and the white 4. It doesn't look like anyone's drawing it. 3 on my hand. That's good. So I will be playing that. That is the white 3, almost certainly. Matt plays that. He's drawn the yellow 5, which is great. I don't need to think. I can just play my white 3. Now we need the white 4. Oh, the green 4 as well, though. The problem is Steve now, because he's got 2 cards to play, and we need the clue to be able to cycle round so he gets both of them played. We really need to draw the green 4. And whatever happens, we mustn't draw that last card. We need to keep cluing, cluing to get everything else played before drawing it. This is going to be close. It's going to be very close. So Dave, there's nothing for Dave. Oh, hang on, there's a 5. He might clue Matt's 5. I actually think he's better discarding. We want Steve to give the clue so that Steve doesn't discard and draw another playable card. That would be terrible. Whatever happens, Steve must not discard. So because there's only one clue that can be given to Matt, in this case, the yellow 5 that needs to be played, we want Steve to give it. So Dave and Paul should be discarding. This is assuming... Oh, now that green clue is definitely a finesse, okay? I must have drawn the green 4, so that is good. In which case, Paul should clue Matt's 5. Probably. And then I play my most recent card, which this time will be the green 4. Yeah. Nothing else makes sense. There we go. He's clued that. So Steve has to use a clue. Yeah, he realised he can't discard. So normally he would discard in that situation, but there's nothing else to clue. So I think he's lost all faith in my ability to spot a finesse. And has been made extra sure that my card is playable. So Matt should be playing. I don't know what Matt's thinking. He should just play, and then I play. And then it should go clue, clue, and Steve plays. And then as long as Steve doesn't draw the white 4, I think we win. Yeah. Yes, Matt's drawn it. Oh, but look, they're the wrong way round. That could be a pain. I definitely want to play, though. We don't need anything else. I have to play so that Steve can play that. And look, there's only one card left. So it should go clue, clue. Steve plays. Then Matt plays. It goes all the way around and Steve gets the final play of the entire game. And we do it. So we're there. We will win this. Oh, my goodness. It looked like it was going well, and those white cards just took ages to come up. So we go all the way around. I can just discard. We're just waiting for Steve to play his white 5. And we did it. It was very close, very tight. Having enough clues at the end was critical to be able to give the clues and not draw that last card too early. Let me put my headphones in. We've done it. Right.
I think it was Matt. Yeah, when Matt had
Okay,
the
we're back.
multicoloured 2 on the chop, that he knew it was a 2,
Mm-hmm.
and the multicoloured 3 in the first spot, you clued him yellow,
Because he already knew that it was a 2.
correct? Which
Yeah.
gets me to play my 1. Why didn't you clue him green? Because he had the green 3 in the middle, and that was playable after Paul played his 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to replay this. I did actually commentate on exactly that. I was like,
Yeah,
right,
you should have
Dave
said-
ought to
you
be
should have
cluing green at this point, and he clues yellow.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
Well,
I think I just missed it.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
fine. because it
I
wasn't
don't think it
playable,
mattered.
but I mean, it's just technically better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would have been slightly more efficient.
So
there was an interesting thing from my perspective right there too, because when you clue green on a card for me and I see the multicolored 1 on someone's leftmost, I wasn't going to play
Okay. I'm just
because I
fine,
don't know
fine.
if I have the other multicolored 2. I'm like, oh, that's why no one's saving that too.
That's fine because you've either got the multicoloured 1 or the green 2.
Sure,
Because
but
if
once
he flags,
clue-
if he flags up all 3, you've got to have one of those 2 cards. Otherwise, he wouldn't flag up all 3.
yeah, but cluing I guess actually if he clues green, it makes it more clear that mine has to be the green 2. But either way, he has to clue Matt's hand something, otherwise I don't play.
so. I made
Right?
2
It's
mistakes.
just delay a round, but
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Jonathan, why did you misfire?
Yeah, we're
yeah,
going
it
to
was
get to
a weird.
that. I'll tell you why. I'm just looking through.
No,
So
it was misfired.
Here's the point where I'm replaying it, where Dave's clued yellow. So that's what we're talking about. He could have clued green here to get all of those played. But Paul, you're saying that you could see the multicolour one on Steve's most recent spot.
Yeah, but if you
when
clue
I got
all three,
green.
if you clue all three of them when he could have just clued the multicolored ones, it's got to be that your greens are 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fortunately, it's obvious to Steve, so Paul plays, and then we get those out. Yeah, it's because Dave clued 5 on Steve.
Yeah, that was obvious.
Yeah. How did you not get that?
He misclicked. He meant to clue Matt.
Well
I just I wanted to save the 2 5s, and then there was the 2 5s, and I clicked the 2 5s, and then I was like, wait, that's the wrong 2 5s. And,
so actually, we didn't make a mistake, did we? It was just a misclick in that case.
Yeah. And basically,
it's very costly in one sense.
The reason you misfired is because Paul had to discard to get me a clue so that I could save Matt's 5s.
Yeah.
We all worked. Paul goes, I'm going to play here. That's a finesse. Oh, no, I can't because Paul thought it was a finesse.
Yeah.
So Paul had to discard to get me a clue. And we think, and everyone goes, it's fine. And we're all going, no, Jonathan's going to misfire.
Well, and one of the other interesting things that came up when I zero clued Matt, it was 0 4s. And as it turns out, his leftmost card at that time was a 5. So the first 5, as long as he doesn't draw another 5, he would have saved that anyway.
Yeah, I was expecting that, I have to say.
Yeah.
But I'm like, and then he went and drew a red card, so we couldn't clue red on the 5s as well. So
Yeah. So just in the replay, this is the spot. So Dave has just clued 5s on Steve again. So I thought it was a finesse, but he actually meant to click on Matt's 5s. That was the issue. I was crying out to the audience, going, "But what's that?
What the heck?
What in the world does that mean?" Well, now we know it was just a misclick. Sometimes it happens. All right. Do you want to squeeze one more game in quickly?
Yeah, I'll be up for that.
All right.
I think I'm probably going to have to step out. I have another meeting, not for a little while, but I don't know if I can get a whole game in. So it's probably best if I step out.
That's fine. Thanks very much for playing, Paul.
All right.
Yep. Thank you.
See you soon.
Pleasure as always.
Let's reduce the number of players.
I probably will not be available next week, but I'll let you know closer to the time.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay. Talk to you all later.
Thanks. Bye. Okay, so I'll start that, and then this should now, if I transition, we should end up with the right pictures in the right places. I'll just need to check that they line up with the names. No, of course they don't. So, in fact, they're all wrong. All of you are in the wrong place. Again. So Matt goes down 1. Dave goes to the top. And Steve goes to the bottom. And there we go. All right, everyone's in the right place. So everything looks so big now. Only 4 players. It's all zoomed in. Oh, well, let me just tidy up Dave slightly. And it is me first, but I'm going to mute them in a second.
There we go.
All right, so let's mute.
You happy still commentating then?
Yeah, I'll do one last commentation.
Yeah.
Commentary.
Commentation. Yeah.
All right. See you after the game.
Trading Steve has.
All right, I've muted myself. And we're off. So look how many cards we've got. We're just rolling in cards with 4 cards each. This is incredible. So paying attention to 5s. Okay, oh my goodness, we've got 3 5s out already. None of them are on the chop though, so that's not the end of the world. What do we want to clue? Well, Steve's got a lovely hand because if I clue 1s, he'll play the yellow one, then the green one, then the multicolour one. Remember, we play 1s right to left. That means we don't need this 1 here. What would Dave do? He almost certainly wouldn't discard at the start. He might include 5s on Matt's hand. It might be better for me, actually, to clue 2 here. Because then that gives Dave something a bit more productive to do, and he can clue 1s. Okay, so... yeah, I think I'm going to just save that 2 for now. And then Dave can clue 1s. if he wants to. And then Matt, if I've got any ones, Matt could clue me. But Dave also, you see, can look at my hand. So he's not just looking at Steve's hand, although Steve's hand's pretty amazing with 3 ones. He's just clued 1. So that must be a different coloured one, I think, from the ones in Steve's hand. So he knows that that Matt will be cluing Steve at the bottom on his ones. The only slight issue, obviously, at this point is that Dave's 5 is now on the chop, so we would need to save that. So if Steve plays his 1, there's no immediate rush for me to play my 1 because I can't see any matching 2s. So what I should actually do is just save Dave's 5. We don't want to lose that. And I'll come back and play my 1 on my next turn. That's okay. Steve will carry on playing. So what does Dave do? I could actually be clued. Like, I know my 1 is playable, even though I didn't play it. So if I had another playable card in my hand, he might clue my hand. Otherwise, he might just discard. But we've dealt with the difficult cards there. If Matt discards the multicolour 3, it's okay. Not great, but it's okay. And then obviously he'd have the multicolour 1 to discard, which would be fine, because Steve will be playing the other one. And then we'd have to save Matt's 2 5s. Starting with lots of 5s in your hand is not good. There we go. So Dave's just discarded. That is okay. Matt will probably discard as well in that case. No, he'll clue. I'll tell you what I'll do. He'll clue Dave's 2, the green 2. Because Steve's about to play the green 1, and then I'll play my 1, and then Dave can play his 2. That's what I'd expect. There it is. So you can't... Oh, no, hang on. No, he's clued 3. Well, cluing 3 basically tells him to play his rightmost card, which is fine, because that's still effectively saying play the 2. I think I would have just clued 2 myself. I think that would have been clearer, because Dave is wondering about this yellow 4. But no, it's all right. He's played the 2. It makes more sense, because now if we've got some 1s played, we can get the 2 played. And it's back to Matt. Well, Steve's going to carry on playing his multicolour 1. Steve has also drawn a red 1. Now, you don't want to clue Steve at this point. This is quite important. In the Dynamo system, once he's been clued, he just carries on playing. And if you give them another clue, they stop playing. So you don't want to clue Steve 1 or red or something to get him to play the red 1, because that will tell him not to play the multicolour 1. But we do want him to play the multicolour 1. So Steve should just be left alone. Sometimes it's harder or easier said than done. Dave's just got a hand of 4s, which are useless. Now that's a save clue in theory, because number on the chop means save. We've lost the white 3, so it could mean that my chop card, the 3 on the end here, is a white 3. That would make sense. Not sure what Dave's doing. But Steve should just be playing his 1, I think. And then I would discard. Unless there's another clue to give. No, I probably... I think I should discard, because someone else can clue the red 1. Steve doesn't look very happy, does he? Probably shouldn't be paying attention, Steve. But I should discard if Steve plays. So if Steve thinks one of my cards needs saving, if that's why he's huffing and puffing, then he should save it. But he's played. So I'm going to discard. Oh, what? Oh my goodness, it's all going wrong. Dave tried to play. That was definitely a save clue. Number on the top means save. They're thinking it was a play clue. They must be thinking it was a play clue. He tried to play his most recent card, Dave, which was a misfire. So who knows what happened there. But that was not going as it's meant to. Matt, though, should be cluing Steve's hand, really, because Steve has got playable cards. Well, what's Matt thinking about? I mean, I guess the question is, do you play the red 1 or the blue 2? In terms of how you decide, you're looking to see whether or not the following cards are there. So if the blue 3 was in my hand, we want Steve to play the blue 2 first. If it's not, and the red 2 is in my hand, we want the red 1 to be played first. He's just discarded. That doesn't make any sense. What is everybody doing? Maybe there's duplicates? I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't have played one more game. Maybe we should have stopped after the last game. I don't know why Matt didn't clear. Like, Steve's got 2 different playable cards. So if he's clued 5 on me, so that must mean that the one on the end is the green 3, because that is a play the rightmost card clue. Well, yeah, I should have realised that. Actually, that is my fault, because I should have saved, like, the previous clue was a save clue. So it's got to be the white 3, so I think I should have known that. So he's actually wanting me to play not the 3s, but the other one before the 3. It's really difficult with a 0 clue to know exactly which card they mean. Yes. Well, it's all gone horribly wrong. I think we might just die here. We've had two misfires already. This could be a very quick game after all that. Right, that was a green. And we lost the red 5. Look at that. That was terrible. So my other 3 must be the green 3. Was that the one Steve wanted me to play? That wouldn't make any sense either. So we've lost both white 3s and both multicolour 4s. Like, they should definitely have been saved. Well, I'm going to try and play this 3. That's the only one that makes sense. There you go. All right, I'm just going to put my headphones on. Oh my goodness, that was.
There might have been a few mistakes.
I think it was one. There was one mistake.
One mistake.
Can we replay this, please?
I'm replaying it. That was the worst game I think we've ever played.
Yep.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Play again. No. I need to.
I didn't.
All right. I'm gonna. Whose point of view are we doing it from? Matt's, maybe.
Oh, I'm doing it from mine.
Okay, we'll do it from yours then. Give me a sec.
I mean, it started fine.
Did it? I actually think Dave shouldn't say Matt's got. I think Dave should say 3 1s. I think when he doesn't say my 3 1s first, I know.
Yeah, that was the mistake. Yeah.
I don't think that's a mistake, but I think
it's not my fault.
I think it means I've got duplicate 1s. Like, otherwise. I mean, you've got to have a reason. If it's interchangeable, you should always clear the one with the most ones first.
I would.
When you
done
don't,
that, but...
yeah. When you don't, it probably means there's duplicates. Probably.
Maybe.
Yeah, I
So,
get it. Yeah. I should have played. Yeah, I should have done that.
It didn't matter. It didn't actually matter, but because it doesn't matter, you should do one over the other for when it does matter.
Yeah.
So I'm playing through the turns. I've saved the 5 in Dave's hand.
Yeah.
We've played the green 1.
Now wait a sec. We lose the white 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is okay at the moment. I play the blue one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave discard. No. Matt,
No, he got
Matt
it.
clued it. That's fine.
He got a 0 clue.
So he played the 2. Yeah, that's good.
Now, bear in mind from this point, Jonathan, one of the mistakes is yours.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah. So the green 3 is playable from this point.
So I've just got to the point where Matt has clued 3 on my hand.
Really, that's a good clue, Matt.
That's where I'm at, and
How about you shut up?
I still have no idea what's going on.
So I was thinking, right, that's a safe clue. That's fine.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
And I'm
so
thinking
Jonathan,
the rightmost 3 is the white 3.
Yeah. So Jonathan, it can't be a play clue.
No.
Okay. And if he wanted you to play the rightmost 3, he would have zeroed you. So the rightmost 3 cannot be green.
Yes. I realised that quite soon after trying to play it.
All right, so that's what's happened, and then Dave and I don't know what happened, but basically
You play the final one.
I thought for a long time, because you're about to throw away the white 2 here.
Yeah, so we should have saved that, shouldn't we?
So I'm assuming that I've got the white 2 in my hand.
I thought I had it in mine.
And the reason why Matt's given that clue is it doesn't matter, but I really don't see that there's any point.
The 4th card in your hand is playable.
Yeah, So I really wish we were doing this from Matt's perspective.
I think it's probably better because whatever. Anyway, from Matt's perspective, it's just. Anyway, so you discard the white 2, and Dave and I both think we have it in our hands now.
Yes.
Yeah.
You also have the one next to the 3 is also a 2, but it's playable.
The one next to the 3?
The one after you've thrown it away.
2 2s and 2 3s in your hand.
Okay.
Your leftmost 2 is completely playable, but instead
Now your chop.
So Dave thought it was a finesse because he didn't get the clue.
Figured, why would he give that clue over giving the 2 clue?
And why wouldn't Steve save it?
The reason is because you've got your multicolored 3 in the left-hand side, and I was like, well, I must have the multicolored 2 on my left-hand side, because he's trying to get Steve to play, you to discard, me to There's no other reason why he would do that. And then
Dave misfires, so I know things are going wrong.
Yep.
And then Matt discards rather than clearing it up.
Well, what I couldn't understand is why he wasn't clearing you, Steve, at this point, because you've got a blue 2 and a red 1, like 2 separate playable cards.
Yeah.
And Matt, of all things, discards. I was like, what is going on with the world?
That's fine. So I now have a dilemma. I now have a dilemma that you have the yellow 2 on your chop.
Okay, that's
and
this
the
one.
multicolored 3 next to it.
Wait,
this
Steve,
one.
also, you have the multicolored 4 on your chop.
Yeah.
Which you could have
Now I do.
discarded.
I'm about to discard it, but I haven't discarded it yet.
Yeah.
So how do I
give a clue here? You give the 0 clue here.
Yeah, but
so what? Yeah, Matt
wait
has 2 opportunities to save the 4.
Yes.
Yeah. So oh my god. Oh yeah, it was then. So how do I clue your 2? Well, I know your end card isn't playable.
Yes, and I know that it's white, which I temporarily forgot, but I should not have played the one on the end.
So I thought, if I clue you yellow, it will also flag up the multicolored 3, and then one of these 2 might think they've got the multicolored 2.
Yeah.
So I can't clue yellow, so I clue 0.
So had I realised that I had the white 3 on the end, I think I would have played my chop card in this situation, which would have been fine.
Yeah.
That's what you wanted, wasn't it? So I think your clue was good.
You just know it's not the green 2. You just know it's not the green 3 because it was playable 2 turns ago, the green 3.
Yes.
So you know it's not the green 3 is the issue.
Yep.
It could be that something weird's happened and there may be, that it's the multicolored 3 on a chop and I've just done the multicolored 3 or something. They would had a repeat or something, but you know it's not green.
Yep.
So you play the...
So I played the wrong
Jonathan
one.
has reason to think that it's weird given that it's playable and Matt clued him on his 3s first.
So you played that, and then Dave finesses Jonathan's green 3, which is a mistake.
Well, I assume it's the 3 that I've still got in my hand at this
It's not a
point.
mistake because Matt has a clue to give.
Yeah, but which 3 is Jonathan going to play?
The rightmost one. in my head.
The one that he knows is a 3.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yes.
Which is why we died. But I could have saved that. I missed that as well. I was just so lost with it. So then Matt, rather than
Instead of cluing
on either of my playable cards,
Yeah.
or clearing up the situation, he throws a 5 away.
There we go.
And I'm just like, well, Jonathan's been. I zeroed you last time.
You've got 2 playable cards and a card that you must save. You discard a 5.
And so I'd lost it by this point. So
Yeah.
I think Jonathan's got 2 playable cards. Matt and Dave, I've got nothing because I think he's finessed your green 3, and I think you've still got the 0 clue I gave you. So I just discard, which I should have probably interjected that. The last chance to save the game.
And then I obviously think from the finesse, I'm playing the 3 on the end, and boom, we die.
To be honest, I pretty much already.
We wanted death at that point.
My goodness. Well,
It
on
came
that
from
note,
one clue. It came from one clue. It stemmed from one clue.
yeah, it was pretty bad. Whew.
I don't like. What I find really funny is, I just don't think it's. I don't think it's it's a really obvious clue. I just I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, Matt's gonna do that. Yeah. I just don't know what happened there.
Indeed.
Yeah.
But if it was a Matt clue, then I'd understand. Okay, you're doing something a bit weird. It didn't.
What would the best one would have been to clue 2s?
Yeah.
And then 3, and then either 3 or white next time.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't clue 2s. I wanted to clue yellow, but same reason you didn't.
Yeah, it just had to be 2, and then you tell him 3s to stop him playing the 2 and save the 3.
Yeah.
This was the one we wanted to play. All right. Well, thank you very much for tuning in. We will be back next Wednesday evening with more Hanabi, and we will raise our game from this.
Paul did have time to join us for that game, didn't he?
Well,
Probably did.
Yeah. Well, no, if you'd have been playing, maybe we wouldn't have had time.
Yeah. It was all fine until Paul left. Paul is obviously the magic ingredient in our team here, I think.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. We will see you all next time. Bye.
Cool.